Yeah, it should have been live all this time. Thanks, buddy. Can you hear me okay? Is the audio over there all right? Naudley, good to see you. Dead Horse, good to see you. Yeah, because it's been showing me an excellent connection and I could see the chat over on YouTube. Yeah, I was going to say it's like a long bed pickup truck. This is where the analogy falls apart. It's like a long bed pickup truck versus a short bed, except here we're not talking about the length of the bed. We're talking about how wide the wheelbase is, if you will. Well, that's also front and back. That's also length. How wide a stance this thing has. It also has a slightly different propulsion technology in the, hello, Master Snake. Thank you, Naudley. Thank you, Dead Horse. Appreciate everybody being over on that YouTube channel. Really do. Thank you so much. This is the best community of any community in streaming on any platform, anywhere on planet Earth. I appreciate you folks so much. You look out for me. You have my back. I'm just really grateful for every single one of you. Yeah, it's a pretty big honking rocket. Every one of the engines in the first stage produces 550,000 pounds of thrust, and there's 7 of those engines. They're BE-4 engines, the same engines that have been powering the new Vulcan rocket. They were late in being delivered, by the way. Being built by United Launch Alliance. So there's 2 in the first stage of United Launch Alliance's new technology Vulcan. There's 7 of them in the base of this bad boy. And then the upper stage is powered by a variant of the rocket that's in the rocket engine that's in their New Shepard. It is a mix of, it's a bipropellant rocket engine that is powered by liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen. The first stage of this is liquid methane and liquid hydrogen, which is similar to the Falcon. Well, it's similar to the to the engines in the Starship, the SpaceX Starship. So kind of a hybrid here, or a fusion of different propulsion technologies. We haven't seen those strakes, those fins. I don't know if my mouse is going to be visible here if I go over. I don't see my mouse. Oh, there it is. Okay. You see these fins down the side of the rocket? We don't see those unmovable fins on the SpaceX designs. These fins here up at the top, these do move. These are like the grid fins that you see on SpaceX. But the ones on SpaceX Falcon rocket are sort of like a waffle iron sort of shape. They're called grid fins there. These are more traditional aerodynamic style fins. So 27 minutes on the clock over here. I'm trying to keep the audio off on purpose on the launch stream. Sometimes companies will throw in copyrighted music, which will get people like me in trouble. So I want the pictures to run for you so we can see what's going on, keep up on where we stand, but let's keep that audio off. That sounds about right, Captain Minya. Master Snake, thank you for being over there on YouTube as well. Again, appreciate everybody so very, very much. The woman speaking to us on camera on the left-hand side is, I believe, a senior vice president working for Blue Origin. NG-1, I believe, stands for New Glenn Flight 1. So this rocket, as you could see from the piece of fabric those kids are holding, is called New Glenn. Also the sign that the child on the right is holding, named for John Glenn, the astronaut. Just like the New Shepard was named for Alan Shepard, the American astronaut. Yes, Jeff Bezos has written some very, very big checks. He owns and has, for all intents and purposes, been the principal funder, as far as I know, of Blue Origin. How are you, Toxic? Good to see you. Toxic, we're not doing a game stream tonight, so we're going to be kind of chilling on some of the shouty stuff, but nice to have you here. I hope you're having a good day, and I hope you like space, because we're going to be doing some space stuff here. Good Zone, how are you? Nice to see you over there on YouTube. How are you doing, Akim? This flight is incredibly ambitious. They've been actually waiting for the weather to settle down because they're not just trying to fly this fully assembled rocket for the first time. They're trying to catch, well, land is a better term, land the first stage at sea on a drone ship, very similar to the way Falcon 9s have been caught or recovered by SpaceX. There you go. There's some scale of a human being with the 7 BE4 engines. The upper stage engines are BE3s, and then I can't remember what the letter designations are after it, but they're BE3s on the upper stage. Those are liquid oxygen and hydrogen, and BE4s on the first stage. Hey, Foxtrot, how are you? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Yes, let's light this candle. That was actually one of the first things this Blue Origin executive said when their stream finally began. It's a very clean mission control they've got there. One of the other things that distinguishes the Blue Origin operation from everybody else in the business, and I mean everybody else in the business, is that Jeff Bezos on the second row being spoken to? Yeah, that's Jeff Bezos there. Yeah, right? That's Jeff Bezos. Good to hear, Chief. I'm doing well, thanks. It is indeed Captain Minia. Yeah, Branson's activities have certainly tapered off quite a bit, but there were 3 that got started and threw money at the problem. Oh, keeping warm under a thick duvet over on YouTube. Akim, that sounds very comfy and very nice, actually. Good to hear, Rich Astronaut. Your name is uniquely appropriate given the subject matter that you commented on. So here's the thing that I was trying to explain a moment ago. Blue Origin has invested eye-watering amounts of money in building a factory and infrastructure at the Kennedy Space Center Cape Canaveral complex. They completely restored Launch Complex 36, I believe it is. They can service the first stage if they get it back in one piece. They can service the first stage and refurbish it completely there at Kennedy. Right now, United Launch Alliance has to put their rockets on a barge ship. It's a ship, really, and send it by sea to get to Florida. There are similar logistics challenges for the likes of SpaceX, although they have some significant infrastructure at the Cape. ULA has infrastructure too. Don't misunderstand me. But Blue Origin basically has built like a small village or campus there, from manufacturing to service to launch. They really will have some efficiencies, kind of in the same way that Amazon has built these mega warehouses for sub-distribution in various regions. So we'll see. I mean, if their rocket technology doesn't work, it won't mean a thing. If they can't deliver reliability, if they can't deliver cost competitiveness, it won't mean a thing. So we'll see. Time will tell. I'm not going to prejudge, and I'm not prejudging any of it. Hello, Trublet. Nice to have you here. So they have a Pathfinder payload called the Blue Ring. I keep wanting to call it a Blue Octopus. Hold on here. Let me get the right name for it for you. Yeah, it is called the Blue Ring. So the payload that they're trying to, their number one goal is to make it to orbit and not explode. That's their number one goal. If they do that, they're going to consider this a success. Beyond that, they would love to recover the first stage booster, but they've readily admitted, very candidly, and hats off to them for this, that it's ridiculously ambitious to try that on their first flight. The thing, if it comes down anywhere near the barge drone ship, it'll be great. If it smashes into it, it'll be actually pretty good because it means that they were aiming correctly. And if they land it, it's going to be a miracle. So this could be a spectacular stream, not because of me, but because of the action that we may get to see. And the other part of this is the upper stage, if it works correctly, is going to try to continue to orbit and deliver the Blue Ring Pathfinder payload, which is a Defense Department contract that they've got. Basically, it's a small proof of concept for future agile, maneuverable, and cost-effective payloads. Things basically, it's in the same way that the automotive industry likes to build these platforms, which they can then plug different body styles on. The idea behind this thing is that it's basically a platform, and it's going to have power and maneuverability and guidance and all that stuff. And customers can plug different kinds of things into it and turn that platform into a, I don't want to use the word passenger because I don't want to confuse anybody. This is not a human-rated system, but they could basically, make it a station wagon versus making it a four-door sedan, all based on the same core components. So that's the goal with the upper stage. And they certainly do hope to achieve that. Yep, modular design. I was hoping to make some coffee AChem over there on YouTube myself before the stream began, instead of simply polishing off, the last inch and a quarter of my cold coffee from the commute to the office. But alas, I ran behind my inner Captain Picard here schedule. So I've only got what I got in this cup. Sid, good to see you. Remembered, Sid Box. How are you, man? "17 minutes. Are you a space enthusiast, Sid? Exactly, Captain. Hello, Whirlwind. How are you? From Cape Canaveral, Whirlwind. Nice to have you here. Hello, Cobra. I missed you coming in. I'm sorry. Good to see you. Oh, nice. Star Trek and Star Wars. Excellent. Captain Sam, thank you so much for popping over to the YouTube channel. How are you, bud? Looking forward to hanging out with you, playing golf with weirdos on Tuesday. I thought it was actually out in February, and Obi corrected me. No, that's Tuesday. Golf with weirdos, he said. I don't know if you recognize my impersonation of Obi there. Astrophotography is something I would absolutely love to get into, Sid. Yeah, look, if they may have to scrub this. Let's set all of our expectations correctly. This is the first time they're even going through this kind of a countdown and a live stream. They've postponed the launch due to weather primarily twice already. Look at this. They've already actually slipped the schedule. We're now looking at T-minus 37. It had been down to 21 minutes before. The flame you see on screen is a venting flare. I haven't heard them say this, but I'm almost 1,000% sure, given the color of the flame, that that's methane for the first stage. As the first stage is cryogenic fuels warm, they become a gas and they become an overpressure problem, and they want to maintain the tanks being filled with the liquid form of the fuel, so they will be venting it. I don't know whether that's coming back out of the spacecraft or whether that's coming out of the rest of the fuel infrastructure line. But this thing is full of very cold fuel, which is why you see the vapors coming off of it. Other fuels on board, arguably fuels, would be liquid oxygen for both the booster or first stage, as well as for the second stage. The second stage, however, doesn't use a methane like the first stage does. The second stage, and forgive me for repeating myself, but I know we've got some new folks that have come in. The first stage uses liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. And that's why I guessed that the flames we were looking at were from the methane, because when the rocket engines are firing, they may look like there's a blue flame coming out of it. But if you've ever seen a typical stove, if there's any contaminants in the fuel, you can get a bit of an orange flame with methane, aka natural gas. But hydrogen almost always burns with a blue flame or colorless. If it's in daylight, it's actually very hard to see if there's a hydrogen flame burning. But we would most likely not see that orange unless it's also burning some other material. For example, if you think about the Hindenburg when it went up, the flames that were visible there were not really the flames from the hydrogen fuel as much as the skin burning. There was burning hydrogen, don't get me wrong, but there was mostly dope-covered skin, dope being a term to describe a sort of like a lacquer-like painting of a material that went over the top of the fabric. Cash, you legend, how are you, buddy? Thanks for popping in. I hope you're safe, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Another Santa Ana event coming, right? More adventure. More adventure, Cash. The public can attend certain areas and see launches in person. It does depend largely on whether or not it's a Defense Department payload or not, and where it's launching. But there are public viewing areas in Florida, I know, for sure. You're pretty far away, but there are public viewing areas. To get in closer, you have to be a member of the press or be working on the launch, of course. People generally can't get into Vandenberg, but there are areas near Vandenberg where you can get a pretty good view of the rockets launching. And of course, if you're credentialed as a member of the press, in some cases, not all, you can get in and set up remote cameras and capture launches that way. Absolutely, Cash. So what we're looking at on the left-hand side is the booster, and on the right-hand side is the second stage or upper stage. And one of the things I think we're seeing here, notice the ratio, the proportion of the dark blue to the light blue. Isn't that an interesting ratio? On the left-hand side, on the booster, it's much closer to a 50-50 mix between the two propellants. Where on the right-hand side, the upper stage, the one that uses hydrogen, it's nowhere near that ratio. Oh, Raz, please feel free to ask questions, my friend. It does have a payload. It has a proof of concept for a spacecraft bus architecture, something that will provide structure and a foundation with maneuverability, guidance, power, and communications. And it's called the Blue Ring. and it was built under a contract with the Department of Defense. It's not got anything super sophisticated on it. It's meant to just basically see whether they can toss it where it needs to go. Toss it here, I mean, launch it into an orbital position where it's supposed to go. But that bus is designed to be something that'll be like a platform for an automotive manufacturer, where you could bolt all kinds of different things on it once you've got the proven core, and make it do different things for different customers and on different kinds of missions. So but basically just the core of it is what they're tossing up, hopefully, on this flight tonight.
Oh, God, that felt good.
Cryo, man, thank you so much.
God, that feel good.
Thank you for the 30 months, you absolute legend. Hi, this is Blue Origin's New Glenn NG-1 launch. It's the very first attempt to ever fly the New Glenn rocket. Nice to have you here. Yep, the fuel on the upper stage is liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. The fuel on the booster or first stage is cryogenic, not cryogygen, but cryogenic or liquid methane and liquid oxygen. How are you, Cryo? The engines are a bit of a big deal. Yeah. Vulcan from United Launch Alliance is in fact already flying the BE-4 engines. Their Vulcan is powered by 2 on their first stage, and they've flown them twice now. 3 times? Twice, I think. Cryo, I'm sorry to do this to you, amigo, but I'm not running the TTS bot. In fact, I hadn't even been running the streamer bot, and then I had some wonderful streamers come in, like Zelda, and I wanted to give her a proper shout out. So I fired that up, because otherwise I couldn't do shout outs. But yes, this is definitely going to be competition for SpaceX. As you do. Indeed. This whole launch is about you. Cryo this, cryo that. Cryo, Nautilus over on YouTube. Anybody in chat. First time they are trying to fly this rocket. Number 1, are they going to actually launch or are they going to scrub? Guess number 2, if they launch, are they going to make it all the way to space, or will it RUD, rapid unscheduled disassembly itself? There's the Ring 9, sorry, there's the Blue Ring bus. Hey Rick, how are you? Rick says go. Don't ever do this. Hold on a second here. Manage a poll. This is only going to be over on Twitch because I can't do this on YouTube, sadly. Will they launch tonight? Yes. Yes, but RUD follows. I'm doing a poll, chat. 1 second. Trying to give you folks some options. Duration 1 minute poll. No, I don't think so. All right, we have a poll. There you go. There's the blue ring. Does it look like something that's basically a foundation that you could just bolt stuff on? Communicate, propulsion and maneuverability, power systems. You got to provide power for your payloads. Navigation. All right. That's a reasonable guess, Cryo. That's a very reasonable guess. They have a 3-hour launch window. Hi, Malcolm, over on YouTube. Thank you very much for being with us. They put it in, well, I don't know whether your comment relates to the schedule slip in the past week because of the weather concerns, or whether your comment relates to the fact that this thing is, what, 2-3 years behind schedule? It applies in any case. I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see. It would be very, very common for something like this to have an anomaly come up during the countdown and for them to scrub because of that. And they really don't want to throw this expensive rocket away. Blue Origin is managed by a much more financially conservative group of people than SpaceX. So I think that they're going to be leaning in terms of hardware preservation and capital resources than let's just go and see what happens. I have only at the most superficial level Cryo. Cryo asks, have I been following the developments in nuclear batteries? And I'm aware of the fact that there is activity in nuclear batteries and people are talking about them quite seriously. But in terms of brands or actual product development or approvals, unaware. The thing that really stuck out for me was the reported amount of energy density for the size of the battery, and the that includes the density of the stored power, or how much effective power can be produced over what period of time. Basically, these things are almost like magic compared to what we have for energy storage today. These would be producing essentially power. Raz, just that it's the first rocket launch, and rocket launches, even when it's not the first, oftentimes scrub because of issues that come up. You know, you get ground infrastructure that's leaking, a valve or something, or you get a boater that drives into the safety area. All these kinds of things can throw a launch off track. So we'll see. Hey, Spirit, how are you, man? I would imagine that they probably do have better working conditions than SpaceX, but that's not saying much. Spirit, how are you, my friend? Are producing? Thanks, Cryo. Okay. Yeah, that was the thing. The fact that they last forever. Good to see you. Spirit, we don't have our TTS running because of the nature of this stream, but I can give you a old school, conventional shout out that at least shares your link. Spirit Music is a friend of the channel. Excellent, amazing musician from Canada, known for doing these really short hold on, excuse me one second. No, I'm told, known for doing these marathon session streams. Hey, Toots, welcome in. Wow, thanks for the raid, Spirit. you legend. Oh my God, I should have known better. Very kind of you, buddy. Is an Aero chocolate bar. No, but I am sweet. No. How are you? How was your stream? Thank you, Sam. Sam, did it give him a shout out? You should still have all your permissions, Sam. We're only running the streamer bot, Sam. We're not running the TTS part of it. How was your stream, Spirit? I was just saying nice things about you. I don't know if you heard me. Excellent musician, streamer from Canada, known for his marathon streams. He does original music as well as takes requests, working his behind off, really working his behind off. Made it recently to Twitch partner. Good tunes. Welcome in. Don't know you, but you're coming in with good company. And I love your name. Wait a second. I do know you. I think maybe we've said hi to each other in Spirit's chat. I think maybe we have. Looking for your golf clubs. Okay. Yes. Aero is a chocolate bar. It's also a brand of cool clothing. I'm neither chocolate bar nor my cool clothing. There's nothing cool about me. I'm not going to think about that too much, or I'm going to start having some trauma about my high school years again, and nobody needs to see somebody my age crying on stream. Spirit, really kind of you. Welcome in, everybody. I'm sure you had a great time with the great Spirit music. Again, I apologize. We are not running the TTS bot right now, just given the nature of the stream. Normally when I'm doing World of Warship stuff or gaming related stuff, we do have it running. Hello, Zeus. How are you, bud? Good to see you. Indeed. Cryo, you have no idea what it was like trying to study tablets under whale oil light. And whale oil was an innovation. We do have a poll. We have a poll for those of you that are space enthusiasts and want to take a gander at this. There's nothing to win, sadly, but we have a poll running here on Twitch. You tired, Zeus? I appreciate you being here, bud. POLL. Yeah, I saved my pole dancing for my other stream on the other platform. Cryo. That's not the way it works, Cryo. That's not the way any of it works. I love it, though. I love how you try. I love how you try. Yep. Well, we're just trying to figure out what people think, Spirit, about whether they're going to launch this rocket. I don't know if you're into space flight at all, my friend. If you've told me and I've forgotten, blame it on me being a senior citizen. I apologize. But this is a brand new rocket that has never, ever been flown before. So they've been way behind schedule, just getting it to the launch pad. And then as Malcolm George over on YouTube was commenting earlier, how many more times are they going to push this off? They were hoping to fly it before the end of last year. And then finally here, they've had a reasonable window where they thought they could fly. And they've been scheduling them and postponing them, mostly due to weather conditions where things out at sea were not very good, because they're going to be so ambitious as to try and recover the first stage. The first stage of this rocket is meant to be recovered like SpaceX recovers Falcon 9s. They have a drone ship out at sea. That video that's running right now is from the hot fire test. Basically, they fueled it and turned the engines on and kept it strapped down and said, okay, well, the engine started, so that's a good thing. And they needed the conditions out at sea for the drone ship and for the booster to be pretty close to ideal since this is the first flight. They're still not really expecting it to go terribly well out there, being that it's the first time they're trying to catch it, let alone fly the entire rocket. So that's the reason that there's a poll. 46% say yes. Okay. What are the rest of the results? 23% say yes, but Rudd follows. Nope, say 15%, and yes, and they stick the landing. We've got 15% say that. Interesting. Cryo, you got your points back. You're a naughty boy, Cryo, or naughty. You're a naughty Cryo anyway. Sly, thank you for making it, amigo. Told you we would try it if we could. It's good to see you, buddy. Cassius, no TTS running tonight. No TTS. Sorry, bud. Checking in on the Blue Origin Twitter account. They've reset it to another 30 minutes. They have reset the... a minute ago, they changed it to 2:07 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 07:07 Universal. 19 minutes ago, they had reset it to 1:52. They posted 38 minutes ago the following statement. This is Blue Origin speaking. We want to be clear about our objectives. This is our first flight, and we've prepared rigorously for it. But no amount of ground testing or mission simulations is a replacement for flying this rocket. Our key objective today is to reach orbit safely. Anything beyond that is icing on the cake. So they're trying to get diabetes or something. Okay, sorry. We know landing the booster on our first try offshore in the Atlantic is ambitious, but we're going for it. No matter what happens, we'll learn, refine, and apply that knowledge to our next launch. Statement ends. Yep, three times they have changed the T-minus 0 time during the attempt tonight. But that's not unexpected, folks. Oh, JB, I see what you did there. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being on YouTube. Oh, excellent, Sly. I love it, Master Snake. I love it. That's a good one. That's a good one, my friend. Perfect. Yeah, so this animation shows you what they're hoping will happen. That's their first stage. Notice the blue flames? The blue flames, because of the cryogenic methane fuel. Kind of looks like your gas burner if you have natural gas at home. And that's their drone ship. It definitely looks different than the SpaceX drone ships. Oh, look at this. Look at this Roomba. I have not seen this before. It's got a Roomba. They probably sell those on Amazon. And here's the second stage. These are BE3 engines, not BE4s. They burn liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. 7-meter payload fairing jettisons, blue ring payload, or other things. There's the blue ring payload there, the little one, I think. And this can launch to low Earth orbit and geostationary orbit. And I think some other orbits as well. There is a limited amount of time that they have to launch tonight. It's a 3-hour launch window. And we're cruising up on the 1 hour mark that the stream has been live, which was about 15 minutes before their launch window opened. This is arguably the most high-tech, latest generation rocket launching technology in the Western world. And I say arguably because you could look at the SpaceX Starship, which is not flying tomorrow, by the way, but may fly later in the week on its 7th test flight, and say that that is more advanced than this. But in terms of actually flying, this is flying later for the first time. So that almost makes it later generation. There's the seam on the payload fairing halves. It's not trivial, by the way, to make those things separate correctly and not damage your payload on the way out. It always amazes me how early in the flight they jettison the payload fairings because they are above the atmosphere. Like it looks always to me like they're low enough that you would expect it to be windy and there would be unpleasant interactions between the exposed payload and the onrush of air and other molecules, moisture and things that are in air, particulate matter. But nope, that's not the case. This is the first launch, JB, of the Blue Origin New Glenn. Blue Origin has been flying with a couple of hiccups, their New Shepard suborbital rocket for quite a while now. They've flown William Shatner on it, for example, and Bezos himself went for a ride on it as well. That thing is kind of a glorified cannonball. It's a rocket-powered cannonball. You've got a capsule on top, rocket goes, roar on the bottom, separates, throws the capsule basically straight up, and it comes straight back down again like a cannonball. Goes to the Kármán line-ish area, which is arguably space, but it doesn't go into orbit. Hence my calling it a glorified cannonball. So Blue Origin is the rocket manufacturing company funded largely by Jeff Bezos of Amazon, and the rocket itself is called the New Glenn to honor John Glenn, the astronaut. Okay, Cryo, I'm going to have to look at that after the stream, my friend. Thank you for it. 23 minutes, though. If they light the candle, it will be exciting. Something is going to happen. Appreciate you folks coming in on the raids. Normally I stream World of Warships. I'm a World of Warships community contributor, but I also, on almost every stream, we discuss aviation and space technology. I am an actual aviation and space print and broadcast journalist. As you could probably tell from my voice, I do lots of newspaper work. Okay, tough room. The topic of aerospace is always something that I enjoy discussing, and quite a few of my folks in my community also do. So if you like that stuff and you come in on the raids and you want to chat about it, consider hitting the follow button here, or maybe taking a look at the YouTube channel where we're co-streaming this. I can share that link. I don't have it set up on the timer, but this is where the stream is also live right now. It's the thing I just posted. And I'm known for my love of the Tiger 59. Okay, thanks, Cryo. How far is this launch supposed to go? All right, Warwin, thanks for stopping by at all. Nice having you here. You take care and rest well, my friend. JB, let me get the actual statement for you. But basically, they're trying to get the this blue ring payload into I think a transfer or a parking orbit here. Hold on one second. I want to give you the absolutely correct information. The New Glenn is 320 feet tall, by the way. Here we go. Yeah, so the Blue Ring Pathfinder payload is going to remain attached to the second stage, and it will be placed in a medium Earth orbit, an MEO. And that will be at an apogee of 19,300 kilometers and a perigee of 2,400 kilometers at a 30-degree inclination. So normally you would expect the Blue Ring Pathfinder payload to separate from the second stage, but they're going to avoid that complication on this flight, and they're simply going to keep them attached. So there's not going to be any risk of malfunction there. It is Zeus completely uncrewed. There's nobody aboard. And this is not, to the best of my knowledge, an attempt to certify for human-rated flight. This has to eventually be certified for human-rated flight, though. You know what? I'm actually gonna withhold comment. Blue Origin is a NASA contractor for the lunar program, and I don't remember what their lunar component is using to get to the moon. And I don't want to misspeak. I can't recall anybody ever talking about New Glenn carrying human beings, though, which is what we're looking at here. Honest to God, I can't recall. And again, I don't want to misspeak. Yep. Launch Complex 36, which used to launch Titan rockets for the Air Force, completely refurbished by Blue Origin. This is a highly, highly, highly modernized launch complex now. And yet, there's the 7 BE4 engines. Again, these burn cryogenic or basically liquid cold methane and cryogenic oxygen. And these engines, as a type, not these exact units, have flown twice now, at least, on the Vulcan built by United Launch Alliance, who is a customer for the engines. Their Vulcan, though, only uses 2 on their first stage. There's 7 sitting underneath the New Glenn. And each of those BE4s is supposed to produce, when they're working correctly, 550,000 pounds of thrust. Hello, DevCorp. How are you? I don't know whether ULA will be sold. It certainly seems like there are rumors indicating it's on the chopping block, doesn't it? I think, thanks so much for getting DevCorp shouted out. Last seen playing War Thunder. Our shout-outs are a bit subdued during the space news launch here, DevCorp. It's the same for everybody. No TTS is running at all. Definitely please don't be offended. Oh yes, JB, their new Shepard rockets have landed their booster first stages successfully quite a few times, over 10 times, 20 times, I think, over 20 times, I think. But they have also suffered from some anomalies on the way up. And including some aborted missions with people on board. At least one aborted mission with people on board, where the rocket didn't go near the capsule didn't go nearly as far as it was planned because of a malfunction. Exactly, JB. Hello, Shipkeeper. Welcome in. Good to see you. Yeah, no worries, Dev. Yeah, I know you've never acted like you've ever expected one. I just wanted to make sure you knew that you weren't somehow being sidelined for some reason. You're always a welcome guest. Thanks, Chip. Yeah, we haven't done one of these rocket launches in a while, but those of you that have been, those of you that are relatively new to the community, we do try and do them. I always try and talk about the community in the context of the community, but if I say we, I always feel like I'm being some sort of pompous ass, and yeah, I'm going to use the word ass there, like I'm some noble, landed gentry, a duke or an earl or something, or the bloody king of England. I'm none of those things. I like to do these rocket launches or splashdowns when we can. When I can. Oh my God, I did it again. When I can. Schedule doesn't always allow. Sometimes they get mixed into a World of Warship stream. But generally speaking, they tend to be standalone at really awkward hours of the day and night. I've pulled more than a few 24-hour days trying to incorporate a SpaceX launch into my life after streaming the night before. So anyway, no stream tonight for ships. This is started at a reasonable hour. I'm at the office working. Thought we'd try and make it happen. This is a moment of space history. Even if they scrub, it's a moment of space history that we're sharing together. And if they launch, it's absolutely going to be something for the record books, no matter what the outcome. And imagine if we get to share seeing this all unfold successfully together. That would be pretty incredible. Yeah, Nodley, I'm sorry. I'm unbelievably self-conscious about it. Daslo, I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them. Thank you for shouting out Nodley, Cash. Our friend Nodley was originally over on just the YouTubes, but they're over here now as well. And Nodley is a talented variety streamer, very good World of Warships player, and always a very welcome and thoughtful contributor to conversations about aviation and space stuff. Good human being over there. Nodley, I hope life is trending in the right direction. Also noticing how young...
Oh, God, that felt good. Oh, God, did that feel good.
Zeus, you legend. Thank you so much for your incredible friendship and support, buddy. Thank you for the 7 months. He also gave quite a few gifted subs out and continues to, and he helped me out with a YouTube video I'm working on for World of Warships recently, very patiently, in fact. Indeed, Captain. Oh, I'm sorry, Nodley. I'm sorry. Keeping you in my thoughts, friend. Yep, there you go, JB. That's the goal. Oh, really, DevCorp? It's I wear the bracelet that my grandfather gifted my grandmother with charms for each Apollo mission that he worked. Oh, that's a really nice launch day ritual. The historic rockets predated even me, believe it or not. I know that sort of 1960s and 1950s archive footage vibe of which you speak. And there's something very cool about that. The movie The Right Stuff did a very good job kind of capturing that with some of the stuff that they created in visual effects, as did Apollo 13, I thought, cinematically. Oh, Daslow. I want to not laugh at that joke, but it's just so dark and the construction is so good. Yeah. And no, dark was not meant to be a reference, now that I think about it, to the fact that the subject is blindness. Coming from an aviation background, we tend to have a dark sense of humor because we're aware of accidents and things like that. There's a story of the co-pilot who said that he knew he would never be killed in an airplane accident because a senior captain he flew with told him he was always 3 miles behind the airplane. And if you're a pilot, you get that joke. Okay, if we're doing this, here's another dark aviation joke. There was a little old grand lady sitting nervously on her first airline flight, possibly somebody about Captain Sam Ransom's age, only older. And she was clutching her pocketbook and sort of nervous and shivering. And the flight attendant noticed this and stopped and said, "Are you all right, ma'am?" And she says, "Yes, this is my first time ever getting in an airplane. I'm terrified of flying." And she said, "Would you like to speak to the captain? Would that be comforting?" "Oh, yes, yes, dear, please. Is that possible?" The flight attendant goes, gets the captain. Captain comes back, not particularly bright captain or very high emotional quotient, EQ. And he says, "Can I answer any questions for you, ma'am? I understand you're a nervous flyer." She says, "Yes. Would you tell me, Captain, please, do these airplanes, do they crash very often?" He said, "No, ma'am. Usually just once." I'll be here all week. Make sure you tip your wait staff. But aviation people have a dark sense of humor, is my point. Right? Like another 30 minutes plus. Yeah, Slythe. Oh, God. Oh, no. Zeus. The timer just blew out? Yep. Let's go see it. Let me go see what they're saying on their Twitter account. Hold on. I could look up more aviation jokes. Will that help you? Whoops, that's not what we want. That's a very good space writer. I wanted to see what he had to say. Okay. They haven't updated Twitch yet. Captain, did you like that joke? It is classic aviation humor. The other one, though, you almost need to be a pilot to get, about being 3 miles behind the airplane. So I'm safe. I'm good. You did. Okay. I'm not Bill Murray, but I play one on Wookiee's stream. So we're going to all be on Discord, Captain. Right? I get to hear your voice on Tuesday. I'm playing, folks, mark your calendars. I'm going to be guesting on Wookiee's stream on Tuesday. I think we're co-streaming. I don't know if he's allowing that to happen or not. Captain Sam, we're celebrating his 300th birthday. And we're playing golf with weirdos together. Nice. Excellent. Yeah, Cryo, you wonder where I get it from. I love that the video here is a snapshot of parents versus, kids. Do as I say versus what I do. They made the kids dress warm, and I guess that's older brother or dad. That looks like dad. He's like, I'm going to go out in my T-shirt. I love this guy with the beard. I loved him in The Sopranos. Kidding. Don't sue me. Actually, that looks like it must be father, and those must be grandkids. I think it's fantastic, actually. Oh, the son, I just recognized the guy's T-shirt. He looks like he works for them. Cobra, ouch. How are you, Cobra? How's your brain? Hang with us, folks. Hopefully, they're going to light this rocket. Believe me, Blue Origin wants to fly. Ryan, I understand the frustration over there on YouTube. I really do. But they're much more conservative at Blue Origin than they are at SpaceX. I mean, SpaceX has had many, many countdowns get reset and delayed, except when they have instantaneous launch windows they have to meet. That's true for anybody with an instantaneous launch window. You either go or you don't go. But when you're doing the first flight of a brand new system, in this case, the New Glenn, they're trying not to just throw all the hardware away. Jeff does not like wasting any money. Jeff Bezos is who I'm referring to, or Bezos, however his name is pronounced. Kind of sick the past few. I'm sorry to hear that, Cobra. I am very sorry to hear that. Hope you feel better soon, bud. I'm still in recovery mode from my Christmas, in whatever bug I caught over Christmas. I'm still coughing, still sneezing. The Santa Ana wind conditions out here are not helping at all. They're making things in terms of sinuses and allergies quite difficult. Daslow, he likes to waste it on himself, but he doesn't like to waste it on running his companies. possible exception might be Amazon Prime and the fact that they own Twitch, frankly. Wow, that layer of frost is so thick it's covering up Blue Origin's lettering on the side of the vehicle. But Amazon is famously run very lean. The employees are not overpaid. That's me being sarcastic. They're probably vastly underpaid, and they work fairly brutal hours and with brutal working conditions. Dazzle, can you think of an example of where he actually wastes money on anybody other than himself? Or maybe some of the money that the companies have spent, like, as I say, buying Twitch or spending on production at Amazon Prime Video? Yeah, ACAM, exactly. I mean, they want this thing, they want the data out of it. They want their money's worth. Yeah, well, that's spending money on himself, Raz. And I have no idea what they're doing on as far as the wedding, because I don't follow celebrity news at all. When I see in my mobile device news feed, so and so lost their home in the fire, I'm very sympathetic, but I don't want to be shown celebrity stories. I don't have more sympathy for a celebrity than I do for John or Jane Doe. That's weird reflection. Can you see the reflection of the vent flame in the payload fairing there? Little Eye of Sauron on a micro scale kind of thing going on. Oh my gosh, Raz, that's actually nauseating, Raz. 600 million on his wedding, really? Crazy. You worked at Amazon. Okay, so distribution and logistics, they might have 2 million year. Okay, so they pushed the technology, though. They spent money on stuff that some bean counter said would further their business case. But my point is that they don't spend it on their employees or their working conditions. So I don't know that we're disagreeing with each other. Yeah, exactly, Nodley. Slight, that's a dark forecast, but you're probably not wrong. Also, you know my rules about divisioning up. Settle down. Yeah, Daslow, you're not going to get any argument from me. No argument from me about your point whatsoever. None. I try not to have uninformed opinions. It's definitely not like that sort of stuff. They famously have put a ton of money into infrastructure to reduce the cost of their Amazon Prime delivery service while raising the price. And I would argue diminishing the level of service and the quality of it. If there were not things that I really wanted to have on Amazon Video these days, actually, I would probably not have any Amazon Prime at all. And I'm not particularly fond of the company. I find that that the corporate leadership is very disingenuous and their policies are unappealing. But they solve a particular problem for me in terms of some of the things that I want. So I still do business with them. He hit a home run with Ring. Interesting. Okay. And you think Whole Foods was a good purchase. Interesting. Or as it used to be called, Whole Paycheck. Occasionally I'll step into one of those. You can still find almond butter for $12 a jar but there's also stuff in there that's reasonably priced after the acquisition. Yeah, that's a test burn. That looks like it's a BE4. See the blue flame front on the left side of the engine near the nozzle? But you're getting orange out there with the other contaminants at the end of it. But if they fly tonight, when you finally see these BE4s running, that was a weird bit of snow. When you finally see these BE4s running, think about for a moment, folks, the engineering. This is an infrared camera. They've had to design the installation of this camera to survive this proximity to 7 rocket engines that produce 550,000 pounds of thrust apiece. At least long enough to get the initial data out of it. That's crazy. See, there you go. Thrust per engine, lower left-hand corner of the graph. 550,000 pounds. 3.85 million total pounds of thrust with so-called deep throttle capability. The BE3Us, I don't think that's the version that's on the new Shepherd, I believe. That's not the version that's in the upper stage of this thing. Oh, crap. Sorry, DevCorp. Would it be better, Chad, if I turn my camera off? Do you not need to see me? I'm perfectly okay with that. My ego doesn't need me to be on camera, so we don't miss any other graphics. What's your preference? Yeah, DevCorp, I'm sorry that I didn't realize that as it was running. "14 minutes, hopefully." Thank you, Raz. That's very kind of you. DevCorp, I don't know if you noticed or if you heard, because I see that there was an ad possibly running for you. I was just saying, though, if anybody would prefer me to turn the camera off, I might do it during the actual launch if they light the candle. Oh, crap, they just set the timer again. Chat, I'm sorry. I'm going to check. Oops. See if there's any explanations here. Yeah, DevCorp, I was afraid of that. I was saying, though, if people would prefer me to turn my camera off while we're here chatting, I would be willing to do that. My ego doesn't require me to be on camera. I don't need to do that. I'm happy to turn that off so that you don't miss any more graphic overlays. And I would consider turning the camera off anyway for the launch so that you could see it in all of its visual glory. You don't need to see me.
Good.
Thank you, Master Snake, for the gifted sub. Incredibly kind of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm seeing comments or replies to their Twitter posts, their Twitter post about the new timelines. And people are saying that that they're not getting any explanation for the changes. Yeah, lots of people are saying, why are they not sharing any information? So we're not getting any explanations. They're just shifting it. Blue Origin's external communication, the way they talk to the public, is not what I would consider to be first rate. Is it, Brian? It's a reasonable prediction, Brian, on YouTube. He's saying over on YouTube, and I wish I could merge these, but Twitch rules don't allow it. He's saying that his money is on Starship Flight 7 launching first, and that's been pushed towards later in the week, most likely. Master Snake, again, thank you. I see you. Good to see you. This is a first flight of a brand new rocket called the Blue Origin New Glenn. It is a partially reusable rocket system meant to be competitive with SpaceX's Falcon 9 system. Because that is a system. There's Falcon 9 and there's Falcon Heavy. Yeah, excuse me. They're pardon me. You guys and gals are getting me all choked up. The launch window was 3 hours, and that started about an hour and 15 minutes ago, I think. I'm going to drink cold coffee here. The only thing we have at the office, the only thing I have at the office that makes heat is the coffee maker. And it's one that uses the pods. So it can't really be used to make anything like hot water, to make soup or something like that, sadly. They just rescheduled it. It was actually supposed to go. Akim's asking on YouTube, when is Starship TF7 supposed to go? Test Flight 7. It was scheduled. I actually had it on my calendar here. Let me tell you. I know you're asking when is it scheduled, but the launch window was opening at 1400 or 2 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow originally. And my understanding is that it's been pushed back a few days, like several days. We can look that up and get an answer for you, though. No, ICU. Forgive me. There is more to it than that. There's actually a test payload. They called it a Pathfinder payload, meaning it's kind of a prototype or a proof of concept. It's basically a small spacecraft that is, it's all of the components you need to build an operational spacecraft that does something useful. This is the core component of it. It's called the Blue Ring, and it has power, propulsion, navigation, communications, guidance technology. I think I already said that's navigation. But it's basically going to be attached to the second stage and stay attached. And they're going to try and put it into I think they call it a medium Earth orbit, a term that I had not heard before. Normally it would be separated and go on its merry way. But on this mission, they're just basically trying to get that second stage to go where they want it to go. And they're going to open up and remove their payload fairings to expose it to space. But they're going to be testing the payload fairing separation mechanism in the process as well. Hey, Cannon, thank you so much for the question. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. At the moment, we've got a brand new Santa Ana event kicking up, and I am close enough to the danger zone that if things get ugly, it could easily affect me more directly. I appreciate you asking very much. Yeah, just now it's basically just allergies from the smoke and inconvenience, but that's nothing compared to what people are going through who have been killed, been injured, lost their homes, etc. So, yeah, I consider myself very fortunate, and thank you again for asking. How are you doing, Cannon? I hope life in 2025 are treating you well. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate that. There have been some videos made, not by me, of the ion drive. I don't know about the X3 version, but I've seen NASA release videos of various ion drives in testing. Ion drive, you're welcome, Akim, of course. Ion drive is something that looks like an exposed neon light. In other words, or a neon light or a neon sign would have glass enclosing it and it'd be glowing. Imagine a rocket nozzle that looks like it's kind of like a neon source of light. It does use some sort of a gas, typically, to create an ion field flow. Anybody that knows the engineering terms for this more accurately and precisely than I do, please speak up. But what you end up with is a very fuel efficient, so low consumption of fuel per amount of work done, but low power output. So like having a really, really, really tiny motor that gets really, really, really good gas mileage in a rocket ship using a non-combustion style of rocket engine. They are, there's usually two components. There's something, there's the propellant gas that you put in there to get it energized. And xenon is one of those, I believe, and there's some others. And then there's the thing that you use to actually put the energy in. Thanks, Cannon. Appreciate that. And I'm glad that you're good in Texas. I feel like we always have to say the great state of Texas because it's a pretty amazing place. I have so many community members and friends from Texas all over the place. So much aviation and space stuff and military stuff down there too. And I hear tell you like your football in Texas, professional and college. Some strong feelings about the subject. Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever got a chance to eat barbecue in Texas. I've been to Dallas, I've been to Houston, I've been to Fort Worth. I don't think I've ever eaten barbecue. Did they put it back up again? After the last 30 bump? Let's take a look-see. I feel like we should be further along than the 24. No, 9 minutes ago was the last one, it looks like. Yeah, 9 minutes ago. Thanks, Raz. They haven't actually been slipping it by as much as it may feel like. Like the, can I say like again? The changes have gone from 0652 to 0707 to 0727 to 0748, all universal time. Excuse me. Those are not huge jumps. This feels like this is either a trade show or an airport like lounge area. Yeah, Cannon, just a little bit. You like your football in your barbecue? So this woman's role, when they first introduced her, is that of something to do with government affairs. So that most likely means that she's responsible for helping to secure government contracts, whether it's things like NASA or Department of Defense or national intelligence type things. One of the physical qualities that's a bit unusual about the New Glenn is the rather amazing symmetry of the rocket. So many modern designs are very bulbous at the top where the payload section is, basically, and then narrows at some point as you go down toward the booster section. And that thing is, I think it was a DevCorp who said it earlier. Somebody observed it looked like an ASM, which is a anti-ship missile, I believe was the reference. That's a keen observation. Yep. See, Dev, I've got a couple of brain cells. I didn't have to scroll or anything. There's only a couple. Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't be surprised if they scrub. That's the risk of plunking for me especially, plunking my butt here and setting the stream up and creating a thumbnail and titling it and changing all the metadata, even on the Twitch channel. But then again, if this flies and if it has any kind of success, we all got to witness history together. I think it's worth the investment. I'm certainly enjoying myself. I hope I'm not boring you. I hope I'm adding enough to the conversation here. I don't have their audio on. I've noticed that they're not doing the sort of thing that a lot of companies tend to do, which is run a lot of their own sort of commercials. They've been running some, and the reason that I keep the audio down, especially when it comes to SpaceX and ULA, is they'll run things on their stream knowing that the content is being rebroadcast and being commented on, and there's copyrighted music in there, and it can get even accidental users like myself in trouble. So unless we're doing the actual launch where they're not going to be running anything that's got commercial media underneath it, like music, I keep the audio down. Oh, that's cool, JB. I figured that it was Saturn. Are they fighting for third place, Dev asks? Because that is what mine are doing. I missed the context of that. Because you said mine. Um, oh, okay. Okay. Your brain has. Okay. Still not sure I get the entire message there, that I understand it. Dev, take your time. Take your time. I won't respond to it until you don't rush, so you don't have any typos. So we could figure out what you're trying to get across. But yeah, I am noticing that this is a lot more polished a broadcast than you'll normally see on their New Shepard launches. I think that they are reading quite a bit off a teleprompter, though. If we could look at this woman's eyes, she's making good eye contact with the camera. And occasionally it looks like that there's some teleprompter that she's reading as well. Not continuously. It might be like a cue that we're going to cut to this video or to remember to say something. Like she's not she's interacting with her colleague there. Like right now, I feel like she's reading something, and she just introduced something. Yeah, see, she just read a cue out to this footage, which probably has music over it, which is why the audio is down. Oh, gotcha, DevCorp. Gotcha. Hi, Liquid. Welcome in. Blue Origin wants to be. Actually, I think it's safe to say that Blue Origin would very much like to be the Amazon of spaceflight services. They do have contracts with NASA for lunar and I believe also low Earth orbit, at least study proposal work, like on their on their God, what was it called? Not it had some sort of fancy schmancy name, like they were trying to build a replacement for space station, or they're proposing building a replacement for space station, and it has it looks like a shopping mall in space kind of a deal. They've got partners on that. And they want to be able to build rockets and provide launch services and sell rocket engines. And so, like in the way that Amazon is a provider of services ranging from cloud storage of digital files with their Amazon S3 to being a shopping mall on the internet. There's a whole wide variety of opportunities for manufacturing and service provision in the realm of spaceflight. I think that's their ultimate ambition, and this is one of the entry points for them. They spend an awful lot of time doing things that didn't have a whole lot of commercial applicability, in my view, which was New Shepard. But maybe that gave them a lot of operational experience and bought them some time. But the New Glenn project here is way behind schedule, and there have been some pretty nasty bits of reporting about the way it's been managed. I don't have any firsthand information to know whether it's true or false. It is objectively true that it's behind schedule a lot. It's way behind schedule. Recent reporting has indicated that things are starting to improve. Again, I don't have any firsthand information, so I can't judge that. But here we are. And either this thing will launch or it won't launch. And if it launches, something will happen. Could be spectacular. Could be an amazing success. Could be a partial success. Could be a catastrophic RUD-driven failure. RUD meaning rapid, unscheduled disassembly, where the thing blows up real good and we all get to see it. Time will tell. It's privately held as far as I know, Liquid. Anybody that knows different, please correct me if I'm wrong. No worries, DevCorp. Hi, Vindictive. The payload is something called the Blue Ring. It's essentially a Pathfinder spacecraft bus, if you know what the term spacecraft bus refers to. It is not yellow, and there are no kids getting carsick on the way to school. Basically, it's a core to put other components on, but the core provides navigation guidance, power, communications, propulsion, and maneuvering. So you could bolt other things on that, and they're flying this thing for the first time, and it will not separate from the second stage. It'll remain attached to the second stage, and they're going to try and send it to what they're calling a medium Earth orbit, a term I've not heard before. Probably is well known amongst orbital mechanicists. And yes, I'm saying that awkwardly and probably improperly on purpose. Sort of like the way Jeremy Clarkson would say someone who's a goat farmer is a goatist or something like that. Slythe, shush. You're more than welcome, Liquid. Slythe, you're being a naughty boy. Thanks, JB. It's somewhere between low and high. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Slythe! Hey, Flanker, how are you, buddy? How's your family doing? We're going to have to time you out, Slythe. I believe they're parking it for a while. And then it's going to re-enter in the ocean, I believe. I believe that's the case. Thank you for shouting out, Flanker. Flanker, we don't have TTS running because of the nature of this stream, buddy. I hope you're doing okay. Oh no, Flanker, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yes, Liquid. One of the things that could be spectacular, and the reason we're all hanging in here, is that on this first flight of the New Glenn rocket, the thing has never flown before. They're going to attempt to land the first stage on a drone barge out in the Atlantic Ocean. And it should be broadcast on video, so we should see this. And it'll either be spectacular as a success, or it'll be spectacular, but for a very different reason. So there could be a hell of a show if they fly. Yeah, on the first flight. Yep. I do hope you feel better, man, Flanker. I was thinking about you earlier. I was actually downloading a really beautiful Flanker 3D model that I may be able to animate for a future project earlier today. Made me think of you. Not because it was a Flanker, mind you, but because it was beautiful. I've seen you on video. Actually, I think it was a 35. And they still call it a Flanker. Sadly, the model is developed for Blender, not for Unreal Engine. So if I'm going to be able to use it in Unreal for animation, I'm going to have to go into Blender and make some changes to it, and also do any and all rigging to it to make it animatable. I mean, I could animate it as just a big lump, but to make it do more impressive things, there will have to be some changes to it. But it's a very pretty model. Is that going to play? Is Area 51 playing? I'm not looking at OBS, so I don't. What I'm looking at is seeing a bit of a delay. I hear it. I didn't see it, though. Thanks, DevCorp. Yeah, let's see if there's any statements finally. Appreciate everybody hanging out, whether it's on Twitch or over on YouTube. Two minutes ago. Yep, they updated it. Lots of complaints about people not giving any reason, about them not giving any reasons. There are some salty statements being made over on Twitter in their replies. I can't read this one. Somebody, maybe I can see if I can. Somebody wrote as a reply on their Twitter to their most recent delay, blank your blank rocket and your blank founder. I hope you blank fail. I don't know why people are so salty about the rocket not going. There's somebody says, "Bwahaha, give the ladies a glass of Moscato for getting suckered into this job." I guess referring to the hosts. Yeah. I got yelled at. Wow. People are saying, I will never get up again. I will never again get up earlier to watch a Blue Origin webcast. Okay, here's a very respectful comment. I think a bit of transparency might play a good role in this situation. The community knows very well how challenging rocket engineering really is, but the lack of understanding and communications is just frustrating. And then right after that was, dude, really? So I got yelled at when I criticized. Hey, Rob, how are you, man? Thanks for being over on YouTube. I appreciate it very much. Exactly, Slythe, right? Cannon fodder, you're not wrong. Yeah, Master Snake, I hear you. Yeah, but I think, see, I think despite Jeff spending on his wedding, Jeff Bezos is spending on his wedding, I think Jeff runs a shop, Rob, over on YouTube. Jeff runs a shop where they don't like to throw away hardware. like Elon Musk does at SpaceX. So they're being pretty careful about getting a good test flight out of this thing, and trying to make sure that it's going to do what they say it's supposed to do. That's my guess. So the point I was making a moment ago, though, was that I had made some comments about how unprofessional the broadcast was of Blue Origin's New Shepard launch. And there were some people that got into the comments and ripped me a new one. But I don't think that they're very good at external communications. I don't think that they understand the tone that's expected in 2025. They want to have it both ways. Like, they want to be able to reach the public through various media channels like their YouTube and the stream and and Twitter. But they don't understand that that comes with an obligation to give people answers, and they've not given apparently anybody any answers at all about why they're going through these delays. None that the public, according to the comments I read, find credible or sufficient. Slythe and DevCorp here are arguing about droid numbers in Star Wars, it looks like. No, I know you're talking about air-to-air missiles. Blue Origin does not have their own. Well, let me restate this. I want to get this correct. Okay. Yeah, that was correct. So one of the things that SpaceX has going for it is it's got cash flow that it's been developing from the Starlink constellation. And another element that's behind schedule is Project Kuiper, which is a allegedly competitive system with Starlink, owned by Amazon Amazon Blue Origin. Basically, it's Bezos. One of the things that justified the production of this rocket is the fact that they needed to launch all those satellites. But they've ended up, if I remember correctly, actually having to contract out to even SpaceX to launch some of the initial test satellites to stay on schedule. That's pretty humiliating. We're still at a time in human history where spaceflight is remarkably primitive, despite how high-tech this may seem. Oh, there's Lex Luthor. World's most expensive discount movie villain. There are those 7 BE4 engines. Interplanetary road to space, mile 0. This is their New Shepard rocket. That's New Shepard. Someone was asking earlier if they've ever landed a rocket. Yeah, there's the booster for New Shepard. They've done this quite a few times. Yeah, Liquid, you're not wrong. Liquid, you're not wrong. Yeah, I've dabbled around the edges of VC, venture capital. Don't really like that entire climate. Of having to deal with it, that sort of thing, and that short-term thinking that most venture capitalists have. Personally, you can get lucky and get people that want to back something that you're doing and have a nice long-term view, but that's rare. It's possible. And people who invest money have a right to want a return on their investment, 100%. I get that too. But it just puts the sort of pressures on a business, and how he was able to raise, no clue. No clue. Maybe he was generating cash even if he was generating losses, and the people saw an upside to it. Yeah, and he held on to so much of the company too. This is their lunar contract, by the way, that vehicle there. Or maybe a part of it, if they actually get to build the hardware. We pulled that out of where? Sorry, the way that they were looking at that foam. It's like, you found that where? I was looking around for affordable, i.e. free, New Shepard 3D models to try and do a explainer video. Couldn't find any. Look at this fantasy land. Oh, look, there's people moving down in the lower left-hand corner. It's got to be incredibly exciting, notwithstanding the pressure, to be working for someone like Blue Origin right now. Even though they are late to the game, they're still building hardware that they're trying to send to space. And to be a part of that team that's designed and built something that's going to be shot at the sky, that's extraordinary. You got to give them credit and wish them every success. Zeb, thanks for stopping by on the YouTube channel. I appreciate that very much. Shoot something at the sky, Cryo? Kalimera, Master Mariner. Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, there is actually quite a few. There are actually quite a few places to leave Sam alone. Zeb, ouch. There are quite a few places to launch rockets in Alaska. There was, I think, the very famous private rocket launch that went sideways when it lifted off the pad. I think that was at an Alaska site, wasn't it? 2023, 2024? But getting back to my earlier point, still throwing these chemical rockets at the sky and thinking that reusability in 2025 is new technology, which is still incredibly risky and arguably barely operational in the form of Falcon 9. We need to be able to get to orbit with the ease of going down the block to go to the grocery store. And instead, it's a highly specialized, incredibly expensive, life-threatening, if it's human-rated, activity to go a couple of 100 miles. Many of us would think nothing or very little, except maybe our bathroom breaks, about getting in a modern automobile and driving a couple of 100 miles in one day. A lot of modern automobiles have a 300 to 400 mile range or more on a full tank of gas. Some electric vehicles will go that far. And yet, we can't go that far straight up without spending hundreds of millions of dollars to do it and engaging in incredible fireworks. It's disappointing. It's understandable, but it's disappointing. Rick, no, Rick, no, Rick, no, 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 no. Is it Cryo? Cryo, with your excellent memory, what was the name of the rocket that went sideways? Did it start with an A? Do the companies start with an A? I think they're having financial trouble now. Or am I thinking of somebody else? It was a small private company. Oh no, Zeb, I said hi to you. I said hi to you. I reacted to you saying harsh and leave Sam alone and we will get you. How are you, bud? Was at the Pacific Spaceport. Astra. Yeah, that's it. I think that's it. I think they're for ABL. ABL Systems? Okay. Yeah, it went sideways and it went kind of out of gate even. Zeb, are you going to be playing golf with weirdos on Tuesday? Thank you, Cryo. Yeah, but the problem with that one, Master Mariner, is that the G-force is required to be survived by machinery, let alone biological payloads, are in excess of anything that's practical, I think, in order for that to be something that works. Excuse me. There's two of them that are kind of being developed. One is using like a sealed, oh God, there's a term of art to describe it, sabot sort of style. And then there's one other one. I can't remember the detail. Oh, okay, Zeb, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bud. Spin launch is defunct, no activity for over a year. Yeah, well, there's like a metal, it's like a metal sabot shape, and they're spinning that up because for well, the idea was that it has to be something that can handle the G loads of being basically spun up in a centrifuge, and then they let go of it. Whee! And off it goes down a pipe. Thanks for the follow. Welcome aboard. Yeah, it like pierces a seal or something. Hello, Jimbo. How are you, buddy? Good morning. Again, if we look at my mouse, this is the part that I was talking about, the Eye of Sauron going on. Hey, Rawl. How you doing, bud? G-forces aren't the issue. I beg to differ. Oh, yeah, it is very simplistic by comparison. It's 9 minutes delayed, Zeb? That's crazy. There was a weird bug, Zeb, when I started the stream where I was live, I was over there, the video was going, but it didn't say I was live on YouTube. So they may have actually cached the whole thing for 9 minutes. I don't know how I can clear that and speed it up. That's unfortunate. I hope the rest of your stream went well last night, Rawl. Thanks for inviting me to play along, bud. I don't know. Let's see if there's any other status. Oh, that's just the vent lines, the fuel vents. No, it's still venting. It's still venting. Oh, I'm only seeing a few seconds difference on the dashboards between YouTube and Twitch. Interestingly enough, 12. Oh, it just reset. Hold on. Scrub. Oh man. Yep. Yeah, I see the timers here. Let's turn this on. Turn the audio on now. They're saying nothing. Twitter has nothing. Can you folks hear the audio from the YouTube now? Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me too, Cryo. That's all I got. And they're not saying anything. This is what I mean by the amateur hour over there as far as media relations are concerned. There's no commentator and there's no tweet. No worries, I appreciate you being there on YouTube. It really helps me enormously. There's no audio. Hmm. Like, does Blue Origin not realize that there are people watching? Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see. Let's see if they've updated anything. They're still showing video. There's no update on Twitter. None. I feel like they're going to cut into here. Here we go. I feel like they're going to cut. Maybe not. Well, why don't we get rid of my ugly face then? So you guys can and gals can appreciate the awesomeness there. Those are venting excess methane fuel that is turned into a gas instead of being compact cryogenic liquid. Hello, Willie. How are you? Good to see you. Guten Morgen. I keep refreshing Twitter. No update. Raul, it is good to see you, buddy. Yeah, well, we're still blaming you, Slight. They would have launched earlier had you not done it. There's Raul's shout out. Raul, we don't have the TTS running because of the nature of the stream. So same thing for Jimbo here. Two wonderful streamers, two friends of mine. Possibly Daslo. I would love to, you'd love to see it, right? What's weird is that they had the two hosts, they're standing by somewhere in a room, and they're not letting them talk. People say I keep my mods in a basement. Well, nobody alive anymore says that, because I've dealt with all the witnesses. But, like, where did the host go? Where did the host go? Yeah, Daslo, that's it. Daslo. That's a possibility, too. Into the shadow realm. I like that. Nikki, how are you? Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Bye-bye. 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 All right, folks. We done tried. We done tried. And I appreciate you folks sticking with me. Where's the background here? Let's put this up. Ooh, spacey. Nikki, sorry we didn't get you a more full-throated shout-out. Because of the nature of the stream, we're not doing that kind of stuff on the science streams and rocket launchies, but our friend Nikki is a great streamer, lovely human being, spicier than I am, though. Please consider dropping her and Rawl and Jimbo the Gray, who we've also given shout-outs to, a look as well. Yeah. I did this animation in Particle System. Brian, you were definitely onto something there over on YouTube. I'm amazed that it took them so long and that interaction was so awkward. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayhem. That's just that is so worthy, Mayhem, of a special present. Since I don't have any sheep that I know personally are single, I'll have to just give you a shout out instead. Friend of mine, everybody, Mr. Mayhem, once a year streamer, whether he needs to or not, occasional div mate, on all right, everybody. I don't blame you for running for the hills. We'll try this again. The next stream will probably be well, we're streaming World of Warships on Monday night, tomorrow night. And then there'll be 2 rocket streams coming up. There'll be the test flight 7 probably of Starship first, but then they're going to try this again. It'll be about the same time of night. Hopefully we'll get a chance to actually see this thing fly, whatever the outcome is once they get it clearing the tower and the launch pad. Challenging, Zeus. Challenging, my friend. My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Everybody over on YouTube, huge thanks for being there. We also have a gaming channel on YouTube separate from this one. It's linked from the main page of the existing YouTube channel. And, of course, I stream regularly on Twitch 3 nights a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, if you're not aware of that. Mostly World of Warships stuff, where I'm a community contributor, kind of a brand ambassador, kind of a dude. But we also do other stuff as well. So if you'd like to hang out there, please come by and say hello at twitch.tv/aerospacenews. The link should be in the description of this video. And otherwise, I wish you all the very best and safety. We don't raid out of YouTube. There's nothing. Well, you can raid, but there's nobody to raid to. So we will try and raid here on Twitch and take you folks to somebody who will take good care of you. Thank you to my mods. Thank you to everybody that's been here tonight. Master Snake, thank you for the gifted sub. I do remember that happened tonight. Thanks to everybody that followed. And come and see me tomorrow night if you can. Yeah, and Zeus, I'm at this hour. Actually, yeah. Anyway, we could catch up on the Discords or something like that, amigo. Thanks, Raz. I appreciate it. Everybody that was here, thank you for being here. Genuinely enjoyed myself. I hope I didn't bore you as I was up here, basically tap dancing like a trained monkey for 2.5 hours. I hope we were going to fly and was trying to add some value and bring you some information along the way about the rocket and the plans and how this fits into the existing space flight ecosystem. Thanks, Rick. Appreciate you. Appreciate you being here. We don't have to raid a WoW streamer tonight. There's other people that were doing the same thing, interestingly enough, but we could. I'm looking to see what our options are. Moo Hoodles was also trying to stream, but she'll do more science stuff if we hand you off to her. Let's hand you off to Moo. Yeah, let's hand you off to Moo. She's still looking. I don't know what she's looking at. But let's hand you off to Muhudo. She's a science comm specialist. She does some games as well. Lovely human being. Thanks for being here. Thank you to my mods, the best in the world, the best of any streaming platform. I appreciate you all so very much. She just made a funny face. She has a chat command, ! snort, to count her snorts. Lovely, lovely young lady, and she's got purple hair. Until I see you next time, be well, everybody. Farewell, and tell the people in your life you love them if you do. Don't get a restraining order, but you know what I mean. Thanks for being here. Good night.